Hey guys, I just finished my middle-aged Satis campaign and I want to go over a little bit of the overall strategy you should be aiming for as middle-aged Satis. As you can see here, we have all the thrones and we got the victory message. So this guide is going to be intended for beginner players and intermediate players, but if you're an advanced player, you might learn something too. So first we'll talk about the main units I used and the spells that I used, because I took scales with middle-aged Satis. We'll go over Pretender at the end of the video, but first we'll talk about the units. So the top tier unit of Satis, middle-aged Satis, is the Marshmaster. This is you can recruit this unit in one turn, and it has excellent cross paths and just magic paths in general. It also has a random chance to roll Nature, Death, Astral, Water, and a 10% chance to roll those same magic paths also. So when you're playing middle-aged Satis, you want to aim towards casting the spell Foul Vapors, which covers the battlefield in poison. And the reason you want to do this is because most of your units, if not all, are resistant to poison. Now keep in mind that your units are still going to take damage, but not as much as the opponent is. So this is the main spell you want to aim for when you're playing middle-aged Satis. This is unlocked at enchantment level 6. And you are going to need a booster for to use that Foul Vapors, because most of your Marshmasters are going to roll randomly Nature 3 with a 10% chance to roll again. So you're going to need to use a Thistle Mace, which boosts your Nature Magic to +1. So all of your 3 Nature Magic Marshmasters will become +4 with this item. It's unlocked at construction level 5. And then you can cast Foul Vapors. Another spell that you can cast with Marshmasters is Rigor Mortis, which is a fatigue battlefield spell. All units on the battlefield occasionally take 10 armor negating fatigue damage, including your own. Obviously, undead and inanimates are immune, but you're going to want to cast this spell with your Foul Vapors. And especially if you're in a hot climate. If you're in a cold climate, I would recommend against the Rigor Mortis, because your units do very poorly in a cold climate. But you are going to need, once again, an item that boosts your death magic, because your Marshmasters mostly are going to roll Death 3 if you get lucky. So as you can see here, I have quite a few of Death 3 Marshmasters. So the item you're going to need is unlocked at construction level 5, I think. Yeah. And it is the Skull Staff, which costs 10 death gems, and it's going to boost your death magic to +1. So all your 3 death Marshmasters become 4. And that'll allow you to cast Rigor Mortis. Another spell that you want to use with Marshmasters is Howl, which is unlocked at Conjuration level 5. This is going to summon a bunch of little animals on the battlefield, and because your nation lacks any cavalry, this is huge, because the little animals are going to attack the back line, and along with everything else they find. So this only requires Nature 3, so you can natively cast this on some of your Marshmasters. Like this guy rolled a Nature 3, you can use Howl on him. Another spell that you can use with the Marshmasters is Army Regeneration, which is enchantment level 8. This is going to make sure all your units on the battlefield regenerate health. which is huge because we're going to be taking poison damage. Even though we have poison resist, we're still going to be taking poison damage. You need nature level 5 to cast this. And most of your Marshmasters, like I said before, are going to be nature level 3 like this guy. So you're going to need to go down to construction level 5, or no, not level 5, level 7, and craft the Tree Lord Staff, which provides you a nature magic of +2, so your 3s Marshmaster become 5s in nature magic. This item is expensive at 40 nature gems, so just be aware of that. Another spell you can use with the Marshmaster in the beginning is Horde of Skeletons. This is just going to summon a bunch of skeletons on the battlefield. Raise Dead is another one you can use. Raise Skeletons, Animate Skeleton. Another spell you can use on most of your Marshmasters if you want is Twiceborn. What this does is it gives your Marshmaster, whoever you cast it on, another life. This is a ritual, so you have to cast this at a fort with a lab. And when your Marshmaster dies, he'll respawn at the lab with sometimes different magic paths. And sometimes he'll spawn with the same one. Like this guy right here, the White Mage. He was twice spawned. So I think he's undead now. Yeah, he's undead. So he died. I used twice spawn on him and he respawned as a White Mage. So I get to keep my native 3 Marshmaster. This guy is a Thistle Mage, so that's why he's 4. The next unit we're going to talk about is the Assassin. This unit is really good because it has 1 death and 1 nature, so you can use this guy to cast Animate Skeleton when he's assassinating people, and a lot of the times he'll end up getting the kill. Lizard King is a Sacred 3 unit, slow to recruit at 4 recruitment points, meaning it takes 2 turns. You can use this guy to claim thrones and also cast Divine Blessing if you want to take a heavy bless with Satis. I want scales, so I just use this guy mainly to claim thrones. Lizard Shaman you want to focus on in the very, very beginning stages of the game and the late stage of the game, because you can use this guy to set up communions and cast big battlefield spells like Master and Slave, which turns the opponent's army into your army. Where is Thaumaturgy? Yeah, Master and Slave. So you need a total of 8 level 8 Astral, so you need a lot of those guys to cast the spell. But you can also make smaller communions and do Enslave Mind, which only affects 1 person, Soul Slay, Paralyze, Mind Burn. So that's a way for you to break in astral magic. And the commander of choice that I used is the Lizard Lord, which has 100 leadership, just a standard commander. I like him because he has full armor and a shield, so somewhat protected against archer fire. In the beginning stages of the game, you want to recruit the Sobek General because he has Taskmaster and he's sacred. This is going to give your slaves +1 morale, which are these guys, Elite Warrior and Slave Warrior. You're going to use these guys to expand, and they're slaves, so they'll get the morale bonus, which is really important because they have low morale. And they tend to rot a lot because they have no helmet, no shield. The benefit to these guys is they're not expensive and they have 2 attacks. So you can use a Slave Warrior or the Elite Warrior. I prefer the Elite Warrior, but I've seen people use a Slave Warrior too. The sacred units I didn't really mess with because, like I said before, I went scales, so I didn't really care about the sacred units. My main chaff unit of choice would be the Satisian Heavy Infantry. This unit is alright, it has decent protection, decent defense, and it has full armor and a shield. And the reason I chose this unit over the Slave Warriors and the Elite Warriors is because I'm going up against Nabaa, which has longbow archers, and AI likes to spam them a lot. And Marignon is known for its crossbows, so the Elite Warriors and Slave Warriors were not going to cut it, so I just went with the Satisian Heavy Infantry. Now, as far as Endgame is concerned, you should be aiming towards getting this unlocked, Tatarian Gate. You're going to need Death 7, which is somewhat easy to get on Satis, middle-aged Satis. Your Marshmasters have a chance to spawn up to Death 4. I don't think I got any Marshmasters with Death 4, even with the 10% chance. So I just empowered this hero. He was natively a Death 3, so I had to empower him twice. Tatarian Gate spawns Titans, which are super combatants, and they're basically another pretender god. And as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Titans with Tatarian Gate. All of them, most of them have full items. They're all slotted with items. They also spawn units, like this guy right here. You could put this unit inside of an army. So he's not a super combatant, he's just a regular unit. But you want to try to aim towards getting Tatarian Gate up with at least one unit by the end game. And like I said, that's going to allow you to get all these super combatants chassis. Now you have two options. You can either take 7 death or take 5 death on your pretender and craft the 2 death magic boosting items, or you can empower one of your Marshmasters twice if they roll a death 3, or once if they roll a death 4. You should be able to get away with doing it once because you have a 10% chance to, or not a 10% chance. I don't know the exact chance you have to roll with the Marshmasters. As you can see here, 100% death, nature, astral, and water. And then a 10% chance to roll those same magic paths. So theoretically, you could roll a Marshmaster at +5. Or no, +4. Yeah, +4. So then you would only need to empower him once. And then craft the 2 death magic boosting items, which are Skull Face. It's kind of expensive at 40 death gems. And Skull Staff, which is inexpensive at 10 death gems. Those items are unlocked at construction level 5 for the Skull Staff and construction level 7 for the Skull Face. So I had to empower this guy twice. He's actually a hero, but he spawned with 3 death. I didn't get any 4 death Marshmasters. So I just empowered him twice and crafted these 2 items, and I was able to use Tatarian Gate. So Tatarian Gate is also kind of cheap at 7 death gems. I got kind of unlucky with death gem spawn magic sites on my territory in the beginning. This throne right here is providing 3 per turn, so I had to convert most of my gems using the alchemy mechanic, which allows you to convert your gems into astral gems, and from your astral gems you can convert your astral gems into death gems, like that. Another mechanic that Satis has is that your dominion spreads disease, so that's why it's a pain to invade a Satis player or AI, because your units will randomly get diseases. Your units are immune to that. They don't get diseases. But human units will get diseases and die, so I like to have somewhat of a high dominion strength on the Pretender God. Okay guys, this is the Pretender God I used. I chose this Pretender God, Leader of the Moon, for middle-aged Satis, because he actually gives you +1 in the research and +1 in the luck. So I went full scales with middle-aged Satis with 8 candles. The bless is really unimportant. It's not going to affect us too much because we're not using the sacred units, except for our commanders and priests and mages and whatnot. This unit also has adept researcher, so you get a ton of research for a low amount of magic path. And it has inspiring research, which will also make all of your other mages research faster. They all get a +2 bonus. Also has fortune teller, which prevents bad events. But with 5 astral, you can cast Eyes of God, which allows you to see the entire map. You can cast Master and Slave if you want to empower him, and you find a way to get to astral level 8, which I believe you can, because this guy has full item slots. And so that's pretty much it, guys. So hope you liked the video, and thanks for watching.